Yeah, Tanner, where's the red hat, man?
You got to put on the cans too. Come on, man.
What are you guys talking about?
You gotta put the red hat and the cans.
If you're a Chris replacement, we need the Chris look.
You're already in a closet, so that's very similar.
It's actually quite a large room. I just tucked myself in a corner, but I mean, I could turn it. Maybe I don't know if you guys.
Who was that?
Fucking Hyundai Ioniq 6 commercial. Like I was telling you, every single time these things go live, that's the first ad I get.
Okay, well, thank you, 146 people for being here. Look, Vitaly left. Yeah. He was so disgusted by the commercial. He was done.
So you just made 2 cents. You're welcome.
I just made 2 cents. Thank you all for being here, 146 people. Hope you guys had a great long weekend. Let us know in the chat what you did over the long weekend. Carlos, what did you do? Did you relax today? Did you chill?
Today, I had a pretty chill day. Yeah, I did a little bit of work for a client that deserved it. You know, they were pretty cool. I did not hit the gym today, so for those people that are following the challenge, but Rango hit me up and he wants in, so we're adding him to it. Chris and I, just to have more accountability.
I did hit the gym today, and today was the first day in almost 2 years that I did pull-ups.
You can do it
when you get in a bar and you pull up. Yep. In 2020, I was able to do like 30, 40 in a row. Like that's when I really built a lot of muscle. And then 2021, my back got fucked, all that. So I haven't done it in like 2 years. And
you do it like this though.
I know you can do it like this. That's like working on your triceps. But
it's a different exercise. This is not called a pull up. This is
what is it called?
Or sorry, this is a chin up.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a pull up.
Okay.
A pull up is this way, and it's probably 25% harder because it's hitting.
It is harder,
which is much harder. Weak. But if Chris would speak to this, there's like 5 exercises that like Army guys do every day. They just do those 5 exercises, and that's how they get their body.
Get it.
Pull-ups, dips.
I could like, bro, summer 2020, I went from 160 pounds to 138.3. Like I remember that process, and I like every day religiously. I went 2 times, morning and afternoon, and I went to do pull-ups because there's this place near my park where I used to live.
And it was you were 138 pounds?
I went to 138 pounds.
He's right. Igor's right.
That's a good suggestion, Igor.
That's good cardio.
Good cardio. Yeah, I went to 138, bro, and now people know I'm 170, and I'm like I got to get back down to 140 because I hate
do those calisthenics. Do stuff with your own body weight.
Yeah, I also ran 4 miles, so I also did that today, so that was good.
For that, try intervals. Like
intervals?
a guy I really respect who has just that Adonis fucking body. He told me the secret. I was training for Tough Mudder. I did Tough Mudder. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. And I was training for a couple of months.
No, I said I was going on a marathon, man. You're not getting our story straight.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's like,
go ahead.
With the fucking chiseled physique. But no, what he told me is like instead of running for an hour, just do intervals. So you do 30 seconds where you sprint as hard as you can, and then like run it like walk 4 or 5 miles an hour for 30 seconds. Then do a minute. Then do 45 seconds. Run as fast as you can.
And what does this help you build? Like stamina? That's
well, you're gonna burn way more calories doing that in a shorter amount of time. The other thing too is then you limit it. So you start at 30 seconds. Fast as you can, then walk 4 or 5 miles an hour. Then run as fast as you can for 45 seconds, then walk for 45 seconds.
Yeah. Kelly's right. HIIT is the shit.
Well, I had that all the way up to a minute 30, dude. Do that up to a minute 30, and then work your way back down. I think the whole thing will take you 18 or 22 minutes. It's a set amount of time. You will be exhausted.
Yeah,
and you'll see
good feeling.
Body.
It's a great feeling.
Difference in your body.
Tanner, do you see Canadians as overweight in Canada, or are most of you guys skinny and it's just Americans that are fat? Or are Canadians getting fatter as like Tim Hortons?
Canadians are getting fatter. Canadians are getting fatter. You guys still take the cake. I mean,
why do you think they're getting fatter?
What do you mean why? I don't know. I'm not.
McDonald's is universal.
I'll tell you why. It's what they're putting in their mouths.
It's McDonald's, man. It's fast food culture.
Don't eat that crap. And don't cut sugar out. Just like literally drink water.
That's what bro. I've really started to cut sugar out of my food. This is water. I'm like, I have 0 calorie Gatorade. Like I
don't even have it. You should try sugar. I had one earlier, the liquid IV supplements to water.
Okay, so here's my question. All right, we're gonna spend like 2 minutes on this. Should I, as a 25-year-old guy, be taking vitamins like magnesium, fish oil, all that shit, or is that a scam and that's actually bad for you? Like, do you
I
take
do the fish
vitamins?
oils.
What
I do
do
the
you?
fish oils every day. Yeah, but well, because the fish oils are good just for your joints and stuff. Like in my 40s, what I do notice is like I'm still probably as strong as I was maybe 10 years ago, right? But what I do notice is like joints are becoming a problem. Joints. I have to be a
What's
little
the
easier.
age for Vitaly and Carlos?
46.
What are your ages?
I'm 27. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
They both look like they're in their 20s.
27. 27 when Bush was president.
I don't need vitamins. Only Viagra.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you actually don't take vitamins? You don't believe in them? You don't
No,
care?
I do believe in vitamins. The wife is religious about vitamins. She eats
Really?
like 30 vitamins a day, so I get to have 1 or 2 of them when she's
But
letting go
also,
of a few.
Oh, you take vitamins? Okay, so I'm the only motherfucker not taking vitamins.
No,
I didn't see you
vitamins.
taking
Look,
vitamins.
they're good. Like for example, like vitamin D is important. If you don't get enough sun, you should probably take vitamin D.
I get a lot of vitamin D, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Know.
Tanner, say out and about.
but also if you
Give out a lot
if
of vitamin D, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
You know,
that's
vitamin
disgusting.
C,
That is actually
zinc.
disgusting.
You know, you should take those. Why
Vitamin
not?
coochie? Talking about C, vitamin C.
I don't think you can overdose on vitamins. I've never heard anybody overdose on vitamins, at least.
You don't overdose, but what happens is it's diminishing returns. It's like you can only process 30 something grams of protein in one shot. So if you eat a 70-ounce steak, 30 grams is going to go to recoup whatever you've lost, and the rest of it you're just going to shit it out. So it's wasted. Same thing with vitamins. You know, when you take a lot of vitamins and your freaking piss is like neon, that's all the vitamins. It just went right through your body. You didn't actually absorb it. Your goal is to have like clear urine, just clear.
That's
water.
true. That's true.
That's the goal. So
That's
if
not
you
my
see
goal.
it's too, if it's too yellow, then just stop taking some
I
vitamins. 'cause
prefer
you're just
yellow,
wasting it.
dehydrated urine. I prefer that. Okay, so
There's an Asian joke in there somewhere, but
oh Jesus!
So when there's a U.S. holiday, there's no stock talk at all. It's just gonna be
We have no idea.
workout.
We have
plan.
nothing to talk about. I don't even know.
Okay, so let me. If you guys have no topics, I'm gonna start off with this one, and we'll go from there.
well, I got something for Tanner. I got some for Tanner. Hold on.
Okay, never mind. Go for Tanner. Tanner's the guest. You got it.
I'm going to send you a link.
Okay,
I saw
send
this
me
last
link.
night, and I was
Thank
like,
you, 338 people for being here. Really appreciate it. Chris looks white today. Yeah, he does look white.
Yeah, especially
Right,
today. I look
and
crazy
he said,
right now.
he
I'm trying
says
to adjust the
a
light.
boot funny.
Out and about. Yeah.
Chris didn't have curry today. This is what happens.
Chris, you know Chris is busy with work if he's not in the chat, bro. He's literally not even in the chat, so he's definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So this is.
Yo, are you gonna replace me with a white guy too, or how does this work?
You're irreplaceable.
It'll just be
Callie.
me with
There's
two
no one.
cameras.
we need to find another loud.
Imagine you and Carlos can't make it one day, and I'm like Tevis and Riley. Can you do finance junkies? All 4 of us are trying to be funny, and it's like not
You should
working.
call it. You should call it just SoFi Daily. I said I was gonna take over SoFi Daily. I got a lot of love for that. People want to.
No,
see
Tanner's
SoFi
doing
Daily.
SoFi Daily now. That's his.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you doing SoFi
practically,
Daily?
right?
Well, no, they're competing on a competing network.
On a competing there.
Carlos, where's the link? It's in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you now. It's like a
Okay.
hot take that I saw last night, and I was like, "Yo, if fucking Wong posted this shit with Tanner in here, this thing would go nuclear."
It's
So,
gotta be
Tanner,
that
I
Google
want your
one.
like
It's gonna be
live
that.
reaction to this.
Okay,
Here
go
we
ahead.
go. What is this gonna be? YouTube
Play it.
short.
Don't even.
This is all just. Can we rile up Tanner again? Let's see what the Canadian.
We're gonna get Tanner.
I don't think it's gonna rile you up. I think. Well,
Actually, I do like that.
check it out.
I
All right,
accept
here
the
we go.
challenge.
Just check it out. Just check it out.
Okay.
It's for you, Tanner.
Yeah.
OpenAI faces the existential risk, not Google. The current paradigm is that AI is the destination, a product that you go to interact with. That is not at all how the masses are going to interact with AI in the near future. It's going to be seamlessly integrated into everyday software, into Office, Google Docs, the operating system on your phone, your graphics editor like Photoshop, every major web platform, search, image search, YouTube, and all the like. Since Google and the other big tech firms continue to control these billion user platforms, they have AI reach, even if they're temporarily behind in capability. They'll also find ways to integrate this where you don't have to directly pay for the capability, i.e. ads. OpenAI faces the existential risk, not Google. OpenAI faces the
Okay.
existential.
So that's
Yeah.
exactly counter. That's a counter to the argument that a lot of people were making that ChatGPT or Bard is going to eat Google's lunch, and he's saying actually no, it's not for those reasons. And I was curious to
But
get
that's not my argument at all. I don't think ChatGPT is going to eat Bard's lunch or vice versa.
Some people do. I'm saying some people.
Oh, sure.
No,
Sure,
Tanner,
but-
that is your argument. Your argument is people are not going to be searching, even if it's not ChatGPT. It's on something that Google can't monetize. But I think the guy's argument in that podcast was that LLMs are a commodity, and that it's really easy to just make more.
Yeah,
of them.
but how does that make Google's
Google will
business
just make them.
bigger if you can just ask Windows now and every product from Excel to
Oh, you're going to
Word
talk to
all of these
Cortana?
products-
You're going to talk to Cortana? Is this
No,
what
it's
you're
not.
saying?
No, they dropped Cortana, but
I know.
no. But you understand that the idea if Windows 11 actually publishes these LLMs and they get Bing in every single software, that it might hit the customer before they actually end up on Google. And then, so I don't necessarily think that, Google is disappearing. I think some people are getting my argument wrong that it's Google to zero. I just think my argument's so simplistic. It's more costly to run, and I think there will be less searches. That's it.
Well, let me at least respond to the more costly thing. On our Discord, we were talking about, and Chris even pointed it out, that these LLMs are becoming cheaper because the parameters are going down. So Meta's parameters are, I forgot, a tenth of the parameters of Google and ChatGPT at least. So these are getting lower and lower in terms of actually cost. And plus the hardware is going to scale. So your argument for cost is going to go away in the next couple of years. That's gone. So what was your second argument?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be nearly. I don't. There might be cost cutting of 20%. I don't think they're reducing the cost 20%, by 99%.
Dude, hardware is a commodity. Okay. Besides, right now, everyone wants NVIDIA GPUs, but in the next couple of years, everyone's going to have this ability. That guy's actually right. So Google is standing to win in this, and in terms of price. But what was the second argument? What was the second point?
It's not even about the hardware being the cost. I'm aware that the chips are going to get distributed, but it's cloud compute. That's going to be
which Google owns
per query. Yes, but it's still a cost. It's still a bill for them.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT already said they were accumulating costs around 7 cents per search.
That's because Microsoft is charging them. Microsoft, back we were talking about, Microsoft basically sold them a bunch of funny money, right? A bunch of 50 billion worth of coupons.
Chuck E. Cheese coupons.
Which they control the servers. They have the extra space. They have people there anyway. The machines are running 24/7. They need to use that processing power. This is free for them, basically. It's nothing. This doesn't mean anything to Microsoft. It means something to ChatGPT, of course, but that's why they got 51%. And Google owns this technology, owns the servers. They're building them all across the world. This is not the issue. So can we go to your second point? What was the second one?
His second point was they can't monetize the fucking searches. That's his point.
No, and that guy was right. It's going to be built into everything. Absolutely. It's already getting built in. Carlos and I keep talking about it, but all these tools, these AI tools are already coming to filmmakers like hard.
I still don't get how that monetizes.
Yeah, but
unless you pay
how
or something.
Well, if you have to use their compute, it's Google's compute, it's Microsoft's compute, it's whoever owns this actual. That's how they're monetizing it, right?
It's also data. It's also the data. They'll just sell the data. Yeah, we'll just sell the data in the back end. No, but one of Tanner's points was
if I could just say really quickly, I think everyone does this argument, and even I do it sometimes for confirmation bias. Sometimes is people go, okay, well, I'm going to use SoFi for example because that's what my community knows. They say, okay, well, if we can get the customer, great. Then we have all the, the margins from all the products there. And if not, then they go to a competitor that's owned by Galileo, and then we still have them. And that's sort of your argument there. Like, okay, well, if Google doesn't get them, then it'll be, some other LLM on Google Cloud. Yeah, but the margins are 1/100th if you're talking about it if it's on Google Cloud. So it's not the same as a full SoFi product. You want them on Google search. You know what? I'm
not
just
a bad
argument
argument.
as an example.
Not a bad
but
argument.
here's the thing, but by and large, search is going to go away. Like the idea is like the way that we search is going to be different, right? In the 90s, you had the yellow pages. That's how you searched. And then when Google came along,
and would you want to invest in yellow pages?
But I think that's Tanner's point. If search is going to go away unless Google figures it out.
If there's a shift, do we want to be investors of yellow pages? That is my. That's
not a bad argument. It's something to think about.
It is something to think about. I actually think a stronger argument that you were making is the fact that they still need to pay Apple to be on the platform. I mean, this was the idea. This is everyone's trying to get out of that because if you have to pay Apple's they're getting the tolls. You want to be the guy collecting the toll, So that I don't see that going.
I don't think that's a good argument because you think ads are going away? Just like ads, forget about how it's going to be served to you for a second. Whether it's ads themselves, are they going away in your lifetime?
I don't know.
No.
So
I
if
think
that's
not
not
going away.
happening, hold on. Just reason through this. Forget about the actual mechanism to deliver the ads. Forget about that. If it's not going away, who benefits in the next decade from ads? It's like four companies.
I'll tell you who benefits from it. It's like the same way that Netflix benefits from it. So they
Sure.
can charge you a
They're gonna be
tier.
one of them.
They can charge you a tier and say no ads, and then they collect that revenue, right? And if they and being having ads on their platform is a privilege that they give to, because at the end of the day, all Netflix cares about is making the money. They use ads because it's easy. But if you have YouTube Premium, like when you see the monetization, right? You see the amount of ad revenue that you make on a video from YouTube Premium. That's the premium that people are paying, right? And so no advertiser is making that money. The service provider is making that money. And I think that's Tanner's point.
No, I think you're missing what I'm saying. Right
There's a
now,
comment
linear
there.
TV,
Load up on TTD.
linear TV is going away, right? That's slowly, internet is taking over. So Netflix is a beneficiary, obviously. Google is a beneficiary of this. Meta is a beneficiary. Anyone who's doing advertising digitally, natively, is going to benefit from just ads growing in those platforms, because not everything is advertised right now online. So as that changes over the next 10, 20, 30 years, I know it's shocking for us to believe that not all ads are actually on the internet right now, but this is the way it is. A lot of it is on linear TV and the newspapers, crazy magazines. All that stuff has to transition at some point. I'm just saying Google is going to benefit a lot from this. If not all of it, of course, I'm not saying that, but a lot of it.
Yeah, like Chris Patel jumped in the chat. He said Google AI Cloud is signing deals left and right. What people don't understand, if Google AI Cloud doubles and search goes down by 5 or 10%, the Google is going down. That is like everyone's pointing out, oh, Tanner, but they have all these, like I had people in my comments after the thing going like, yeah, but Google Ventures will, like, you don't think their investments will lead to great rewards? It's like they've had Google Ventures for 20 years. Like every one of these large companies have venture funds and they all are priced in. You have to factor in what is not priced in.
Sorry. Wrong about that too. Waymo is not priced in. If that actually does succeed, along with full self-driving by Tesla, whoever.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that actually
I think that's
happens,
such a stretch. Who's investing in Amazon because of Rivian? Like that, like it's a perk, but not a feature to invest in the company.
I don't think Amazon owns Rivian outright. I don't think that's the way it's working out.
No, but his point is like it's such a small proxy that it's like it's a nonsense thing to their bottom line.
Yeah, if you're talking about their venture fund, then it doesn't matter if they have a majority stake or a full stake. If they have a stake,
no, you're missing my point. They have long-term bets, including, by the way, SpaceX. If those bets start to pay off, that means Google benefits. That's my point.
Okay, we got to move on. We got to move on to something that's also very important, and I'm curious to hear Tanner's point on this. Anthony Blinken, who is part of the international relations team in this White House administration, met with Xi Jinping today. And they pledged to stabilize U.S.-China relations in rare Beijing talks. Now, this guy was supposed to meet Xi Jinping, I think 3 months ago, and then the balloons happened. For those that remember the balloons, China was theoretically saying that they're just floating around, and we were like, no, they're not just floating around. You're actually trying to like spy on us. And so that canceled the meetings. But now they came and they talked. And in the discussion, what was one of the important things that they said, I don't know if this article has it. If not, I'll pull up another clip. Yeah, it doesn't have it here. But the U.S. kind of said some interesting stuff about Taiwan. They didn't necessarily say they embraced Taiwan's independence. They kind of said, actually right here. Here's the clip right here. Let me pull it up on Twitter. And so my question is going to be, after we watch this, is it time to get a little bit more bullish for Chinese equities? So here's the argument.
Iterated the longstanding U.S. one China policy. That policy has not changed. It's guided by the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 joint communiques, the 6 assurances. We do not support Taiwan independence. We remain opposed to any unilateral changes to the status quo by either side. We continue to expect the peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences.
Now, this is what he was supposed to say. If you guys remember when Trump won the presidency and he picked up a phone call in 2020 by Taiwan, there was a big little scandal because like no president is supposed to answer Taiwan's phone call just to make sure China doesn't get upset. But Trump was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
What's up? I'll take a pepperoni pizza.
Trump didn't give a fuck.
Was I not supposed to do this?
He's like, was I not supposed to do this?
Let's make a deal. Who can I fire?
Let's start with you, Tanner. If relations are starting to stabilize, and China's economy is in the gutter right now, they really want their economy to get better, which is why they want to meet with Biden really badly over in the Asia conference in September in California. Do you think any investor should be thinking of equities in China a little bit more seriously? Or is it a full no-go for you?
Yeah, it's a no-go for me just because I don't follow the space closely enough, and I'm going to stick to where I know best. I don't follow the political stance that close. I wouldn't invest there. Right now, I'm investing, like, my international play is in Latin America, and I think more investors should be focused there. But yeah.
Okay, Vitali, any thoughts on if Baba or Neo are opportunities?
I forgot who was it. Ray Dalio today. Some news came out. Ray Dalio, BlackRock, all of these people seem to not be leaving China and continuing their investments. So, look, if money keeps going there, it's long term. This is fine. I'm just saying, I'm a retail investor. I can't afford to wait the 5-10 years. Like, I'm getting old. I want an exit strategy in 5-10 years. So I'm not going to do it, but I could see why those guys are sticking around, because you can't discount China over the long term.
Wasn't it your boy Prakash who just sold out of all of his Baba for a little bit of loss?
Yep.
I think
yeah, I was reading about
what's his name? Munger said that was the worst investment that he had ever made.
Now, granted, China's stimulating right now as Carlos's cute little girl comes in. China is stimulating. And so this is Chris, maybe, like, even regardless of what we ideologically think about China, if they're stimulating right now, equities might.
Carlos is like, you better get on camera. I need to win some brownie points.
I was like,
you want to say hi to Vitali?
How's it going?
Have a sticker.
Oh, she's saying have a sticker, Vitali.
Oh, I would take
have
a sticker.
I sent a video the other day. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I sent the video the other day because she heard Vitali's voice and she was like, I want to say hi to Vitali.
Oh, that's so nice.
Remember?
What's her name?
Her name is. No, I don't want to say her name publicly.
Okay. Yeah.
Even I forgot her name, to be honest. I don't
Her name is.
If you don't say it,
ask her if she's long Baba.
This is a slim shade.
Do you wanna? I
want long Baba.
Are you long Baba?
No.
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 She's like
wait, I have a question.
You don't invest in China?
Are you going to invest in China when you grow up?
Do you want to invest? Do you want to invest in China? Okay, go. You want to invest in China or no?
No.
It's the Oracle of California.
Yeah. Okay, go to Mama.
Ask her if she likes SoFi.
Do you like SoFi? Do you like SoFi?
I, the letter I.
Kelly wants her to say hi, Kelly. Could she say hi, Kelly?
Oh, okay. Can you say hi, Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
Kelly's
pretty
gonna
good.
love that.
She said it's so clear. That's Kelly's your friend.
That's so loud.
No, that's Amit. Can you say Amit? And that's Vitali.
And
That's Tanner.
She's like, that's the white guy.
She's like,
I'm blending in with the background.
All right, let's go. Let's continue arguing. Okay, now take.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Someone mentioned in the comment, Rob Minard, Carlos Vitali. What about all the EVs in the field of China? I actually saw that. That kind of looked like. Did you see the video?
Yeah. What is that? Can you explain what's going on there?
Well, they're saying all the BYD cars, they're not actually selling their EVs. They're just putting them in the field to pump up their numbers. I think that's what's going on, or they're claiming it's what's going on. I don't believe that.
Do you remember whenever I think it was Volkswagen or something had this emissions problem?
Wait, watch this video. Does that look a little fake? Like the camera moves. Does that look?
Dude, it's all the way down.
So they're doing this to pump up their numbers. That's your argument.
Oh yeah. So look, even if it's true that they have these cars, but there could be many reasons. I don't know if I quite believe that that's happening. It's not all BYD. A lot of it. What did he say? Let's see what he said.
I was looking up on that. Those aren't vehicles waiting for delivery.
So Carlos, what is this? Can you set some insight?
You see,
why is this happening?
That's because they need the numbers.
They need the numbers. Like, China's not above. Like, you have to understand, a lot of times you invest in a Chinese company and you think that they'll operate in the same way that American companies do, to certain American standards. They don't give a fuck about doing that just to gain the numbers. They don't care.
Well, here's the question. Why would you produce the cars? You can just lie on the paperwork. Why do you need to actually make the cars? This is like, I would just lie on the paperwork.
That's true.
So it seemed like a little bit of a fake.
Well, because
thing,
it's a little bit harder because you can't just lie and say the paperwork. It's also part of supply chain.
Okay, but why would you make the whole car then? Like the seats, the thing. I don't know. I would start lying on a bunch of paperwork. So I'd make the frame or something, dump that.
All right, so now everybody in the chat knows don't ever trust Italian in fucking business deal.
Well, back in the old days in Brooklyn, the Russians would do it the right way.
get
They wouldn't.
Fugazi.
So what happened to the stock whenever this happened?
I don't know if
BYD?
anything happened to the stock. I think it's down, but it's not because of this video, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the macros going on.
Because I
there.
remember back, I don't even remember when it was. It was like 2016 or something, and there was this fleet of VC members that went down to China and were doing like deep research into some of these companies that were just like, whenever you're investing in Chinese companies, you don't actually own the stock. You own the VIE.
Right,
That
right,
is
right.
just your
Cayman
stake in a
Islands.
shell corporation that's in
It's like
Cayman
Coinbase.
Islands or
You
something.
own it, but Coinbase is the custodian of the actual.
Sure, right?
But look, here's
And
the thing. There was a whole thing during COVID, or not even. I'm sorry, after COVID, where China lied on their census numbers. Like, this is partially how the world found out that their population is collapsing and that it's essentially inverted, right? They lied on it and they said they had, I don't know, 110 million more people under 25 or 30. I don't know the exact demographic, but they lied about it. And then other things through COVID and the World, not the World Economic Forum, what was that? The World Health Organization. Yeah, the WHO. That's when they started finding out, wait a minute, these numbers don't line up. You should have this many people. And so they are not above lying to the world to put the face that they need to put out there.
What price does Baba have to get to for you to buy it, even though they lie all the time? What price does Baba have to get to?
I could not trust that. I just couldn't trust the investment. The other thing too is,
there's always a price.
It's always compared. No, because it's always compared to what I
$30
money for here.
$30. I'm buying the fuck out of Baba, bro. Baba's about to become my papa. Baba becomes $30.
What is it?
If you end up being rich,
It's
you end up
92.
being rich in your 30s, it's like literally it's a miracle shot. We're trying so hard to make you rich, and you're fighting it with every.
He's like,
Don't
you know
worry,
what?
I got Daddy
Hey,
Chris in the banks. I got the banks.
him
Tanner and
and
SoFi, Tanner's. I got it. We're gonna be good.
Him and Chris, we found a 10 million market cap company. Let's do this, guys.
Don't talk about that one yet. We don't talk about that one yet.
No, I'm just pointing out that like you guys are becoming gamblers.
Straight
Oh
up,
yeah, I
man.
saw that. You were buying some like one share of. I'm like, what are you doing buying one share of anything?
No,
That was a
What's the point of
gift.
this?
Well, one
was
share
a
is like
gift.
tracking. Like I think I had to buy a share of it. What was it? Cisco.
Cisco,
yeah.
which is up.
Add it to a watch
We're up-
list. You don't need
we're
to
up-
buy anything.
I was gifted
No,
the
because you
share. I
don't
had
see
to
it
buy
on your portfolio. You don't see it. Like it's a pain.
It's
in the
easier.
ass.
It's easier if you buy one share of
Just buy a
something to
share
actually
of it.
monitor it.
Yeah,
You could buy
I would agree
fractional
there.
shares just to monitor too. I buy like a couple pennies of something.
He's like
I did that with
one,
Berkshire.
0.01 pennies worth.
I did it with
This
Berkshire
is
Hathaway.
hey, you should put me full screen.
I mean, it's like
this
I
is why you
got
should
I
use
have
a
1,000.
platform.
I have 1,000 stocks. They're all 0.01 penny.
Go ahead, Tanner. You're full screen. You got it. Go ahead.
Oh God.
Here we go.
This is why you should use a platform like Seeking Alpha.
Oh my
No,
god.
I'm just joking.
Wait. Are you working for them now?
No.
Uh,
Just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Did you ever own Baba, Tanner?
I don't
I
think
know your
so.
value investor ass owned Baba at one point. I know you did.
My value.
Well, can we talk about how every value investor in the world loved Baba and they were all fucking wrong?
yeah.
all of them?
Well, the thing is, okay, so this is playing
Wait, hold
out
on.
right
Let
now.
Tanner finish, then go ahead, Vitaly.
Sure,
Tanner,
sure.
did you ever own it?
No, I'm getting used to get cut off in this group. I mean, holy. No, I think it was really exciting whenever they were coming out with Ant Group was putting out Alipay, and then that kind of got shut down, and then that's kind of when I stopped looking into Alibaba. But around then, I don't remember when that was, 2018 or something, was when I was really interested, and then that all dropped off.
Bro.
Whenever Jack
okay.
Ma went missing.
Yeah, well,
That's my point. That's my point. Imagine if like Mark Zuckerberg disappeared tomorrow and no one could find him for a few months. It would seem absolutely insane. The fact that that can happen in China, no one cares and they keep investing. I just don't want anything to do with it, man.
Well,
Do you
that's the
know-
problem.
do
The
you know
problem
the-
is hold on. The problem is not that Baba is a bad investment. The problem is China fucked up Baba by disappearing Jack Ma, stopping their Ant financial split, which was going to make them bank, and now splitting up the whole company into what, 6 pieces? I forgot what they're doing. This is why Baba's uninvestable because of China.
Yeah.
Imagine if just Elon disappeared tomorrow, no one could find him.
Yeah.
I would just.
That'd be
wouldn't-
insane, bro. That'd be
Not the-
fucking insane.
If he
It
keeps
would.
hanging
I
out
mean-
in China, it might happen.
Well,
Right.
like, I mean, that's the thing though. They are capitalists until you get too powerful to speak out against them, and then you're done. Like, I don't know if you guys know the what is it? The demographic that's most at risk of suicide in China is billionaires. They have the
Wow.
highest suicide rate than any other
suicide
demographic.
in air quotes. More so
Sorry?
than in Russia.
In other
Russia's
countries, it's
doing
called
it.
murder. By
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, well, I saw that statistic probably before what was happening all in Russia. But yeah, and suicide in a video game, by the way, just for monetization or whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks for killing
Well,
that.
we just say self delete.
Yeah, self-delete. Yeah.
That's what you say. Yeah.
Google, remove this section.
You just say self.
There's actually a concept by Albert Camus, if anyone wants to look up, called philosophical suicide. It's a really, really interesting philosophical.
Give the TLDR.
The TLDR is that you should accept the universe as meaninglessness. The universe has no meaning. You shouldn't strive to like find some overarching value system. So the argument is, if you accept some type of worldview, typically like religion, that tries to tell you like what you should do in life, all these ethics and principles, you're committing philosophical suicide. Now that's very controversial because Camus' argument is you're a coward. You're not embracing the absurdity of the universe. You're like embracing some story that someone told you. Obviously, there's a lot of,
And you're not
nuance
taking
to that.
personal responsibility, which
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think if you're religious, you don't take personal responsibility. But Camus' argument is the ultimate personal responsibility is to accept that nothing in the world matters except that you are here and you have this one life, and there is no overarching story. Like if you ever saw everywhere,
Is that just anything
everything
different than nihilism, or
no absurdism? Nihilism concludes that
no,
life
Camus is
has no
more
meaning.
existentialism, by the way.
Yes, absurdism concludes that life has no meaning, but you have the ability to give it meaning. But if you accept some overarching meaning, then you're like giving into the will of like some other guy and what he came up with for you to believe in.
It's not nihilism, by the way. Existentialism is you take on the responsibility of what you make in the world. It's your fault if it works out or if it doesn't. It's up to you. So it's opposite of nihilism.
Let us know in the chat if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. I asked Vitaly yesterday; he's seen it. Have you guys watched it, Tanner?
Good movie.
Carl?
Yeah.
no? I have
I
not.
haven't seen it yet.
That movie is crazy, bro.
I'm
Watch
sending
it,
you.
guys.
I send you. It's like you're like talking to my shorts feed. So check this out. I just saw this one earlier today. Interesting. I really like Christopher Hitchens. I don't know. That might be controversial, but I saw this today. I was like, yo, that makes a pretty good point. And it goes to what you're saying about philosophy and religion. You want to play that one?
If you can, a noble action performed, or a noble.
Start it again. Like just read. Yeah.
Name me, if you can, a noble action performed or a noble thought uttered by a believer in God that could not be uttered by a non-believer. Name a wicked action performed or a wicked thing said by someone purely because of their religious faith. You don't even have to blink before you've thought of one. We are part of the natural order. We're not a specially created species. We have no unique privilege. Bleak though it may be, at least it's realistic. It doesn't mean that we have to live without irony. Doesn't mean we have to live without humor. Doesn't mean we have to live without solidarity or any of the other things that make life A, bearable, and B, possible. Rabbi Bachir has been contradicting himself directly all evening. He began by saying that our good qualities, our heroic and noble and gentle and generous qualities, are innate in us. He's quite right in saying that. Yes, they are innate in us. That is precisely the point. Religion borrows its morality from us, not we from religion.
Kill the music.
It's controversial. Yeah, Christopher Hitchens is an atheist. So if you don't believe in atheism, it's gonna.
But that goes to what you're saying. Like a lot of the his point is that a lot of the qualities that you attribute to religion or as needing religion to bring to your life are actually projections of things that are innate in us, and therefore all religions and essentially all philosophy is a projection of things that are already innate in us and therefore not necessary.
Correct.
It kind of makes a good point.
Can I draw back the
And
stocks?
also when
What's
you say it in that
And
accent,
welcome to Philosophy Weekly.
Yeah, like I like.
yeah.
And
Okay,
guys,
so
I've always
I just want
wanted
to point
to,
out, everyone noticed that Amit can't buy a decent camera at this point still. So get those super chats going.
I asked the question, why not just start the pod on this camera?
Because this camera sucks compared to that camera.
Yeah, so get a good camera.
What happens to that camera?
That camera overheats, bro. That's it. It overheats after 40 minutes. That's the only reason. It doesn't
camera
turn
that
off.
overheats
What
after 40 minutes.
What company is that so I can short it?
It's actually Sony. So
Oh, whack ass camera.
okay, hear about this. We don't have too much stock news, but I saw this today. This was kind of crazy. If you earn $250,000 a year, these are the 7 cities where your money is worth a lot less than that. New York, 82 grand, San Francisco, 82 grand, Los Angeles, 101, Washington, D.C., 101, San Diego, 105. So given you both
Okay, wait. Based on what? Well, you're just telling me numbers. What are you? What
based
are,
on
what are you
cost of
reading
living.
right now?
Like if you make
Saying-
250,
Oh,
cost of
cost.
living,
Okay, I didn't hear
yeah,
that part. Sorry.
so
You're
Vitaly,
saying
you live-
you're saying if you make 250, it's actually worth 82 in New York. Is this what you're saying?
Exactly. And same thing for Los Angeles, 100. So I wanted to start with you, Carlos. What is this real? Like, do you feel like your purchasing power decreases by more than 50%?
That was from that number, yes, but the raise that you give yourself from 82,000 to 100,000 is real. Like when I got out here, I was so surprised how much more expensive gasoline was at the time. It was like $5 a gallon in New York.
That's true.
But everything else is so cheap. Everything else is so much cheaper out here. The cost of living in LA is so much cheaper. And another reason why I moved out here too is just I could still buy a house at an affordable price
Compared to New York or in general?
Oh, yeah. Like I was looking for properties in New York, and the like 3 or 4 story brownstone, which sounds crazy, but it was really tiny, but just sort of vertical. And the area that I wanted was like $2.5 million, and they were all being bought up by Chinese investors cash. Had no leverage. The only house that I could buy would be way out in Connecticut or like way out where Vitaly lives in the boondocks, And I didn't want to live that far away, and so I was like, man, I'm just never going to be able to own a home. Those are cities that are rental cities. I think they're like transitory cities unless you move out of the city. So
inbound XCX, he asked a question, right, about where does he live? Literally go to Jersey City and it's like half the price. I'm not joking. So you can take your 200,000, it's worth now 150,000, or 250,000 worth 150,000. So there are places around the city that are cheaper, but if you live right in the city, don't expect that.
Right, but in LA, I live close. I live the equivalent of like living in Williamsburg, not Williamsburg. I would say maybe like Carroll Gardens.
Yeah, but Jersey City is like living in. It's similar to like living in Brooklyn. Same thing.
No, but you're saying by distance.
City.
Yeah, no, by distance, yes, but not lifestyle. You're not having the same. It's not the same lifestyle as you would have if you were in Carroll Gardens or Williamsburg, which I lived in before I left.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So would you recommend to someone, let's say if they're blessed enough to make 250 at a young age, to just go to like Alabama or some shit? No. Why?
No,
it would
just move a little bit out of the city. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it depends on where you're making the money. Like it depends on where you're.
No, it's probably New York City. If you're making 250 grand, it's not in Alabama, most likely. You're making it in New York.
If you're making,
Alabama, I don't think people
subscribers have been rolling in for a minute.
Say it again.
What do you say, Tanner?
I think those subscribers have been rolling in for a minute. I think maybe he's talking about his work from home. Who knows?
Okay, we have some people. I put the StreamYard link. We obviously it's a boring news day. There's not a lot of stuff. So if anyone wants to join, please join because we have.
Man, honestly, I wanted to ask you guys about your opinions on other tech companies. Like I've never really gotten the full pitch on Enphase. I would love to hear Amit's opinion on Snowflake. I want to hear your guys'
dog
opinion
shit
on
pussy. There's nothing else to talk about with Snowflake.
If that's it. It's just terrible.
We have someone in the back. Let's do one person, and then we'll get to your question. Let's do one person. We'll get to your question. This is a guy who's been watching for a long time.
All that Tanner has showed us, he has not watched Freelancer Finance.
That's basically what Tanner showed. He's not watched.
I have not watched Freelancer Finance because I just see you guys on.
We only have like 30 episodes about Enphase.
No, but we'll go back up. Austin put something up there. 739. Tesla's white paper on its new string inverter in 2021 destroys.
Hold on. Let me get one person backstage because we got one person. Then I'll do Austin's comment.
Austin, put a link to that. Let me see that. I feel like I saw that when it came out.
Zoko, what's up?
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Good. Good to finally be able to get on. I have 3 kids, so I'm always doing extracurricular activities, so I'm never able to get on.
All right,
anyways, Amit, hello. Vitaly,
hello, man. I've been seeing you in the comments
Carlos,
for like
hello.
months. So
I know. Tanner, nice to meet you. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Just a quick question. Healthcare. I never see you guys really talk about healthcare. Right now, I'm researching Medtronics and Stryker stock, and I was wondering if you guys had any intel on those particular stocks. For me, I think it's a kind of undervalued sector, given that, because of COVID, they decreased surgery and things of that nature. So I was wondering if you guys had any insight on
which
those.
one did you say?
What does the company do? Yeah, what does the company do?
Oh, Medtronics and Stryker. So hospital equipment and supplies, and they are also big on surgeries. Robotic surgeries for patients.
I was actually looking into Medtronics, and there's also another one. Who's their competition? There's a second one that's growing right now. Anyone know? They're the same line of business. Medtronics does surgical equipment, right?
Surgical and intuitive surgical, something like that.
Yes, it's a robotic surgery. Yeah. And Medtronics and them basically own the market, from what I gather. Basically, 2 companies own the whole surgery, robotic surgery space. So I'm actually very interested in that, but I haven't invested.
Yeah, my cousin's actually an orthopedic surgeon, so he actually uses these things, and he's actually big on those companies. So I was just trying to decipher which would be best to.
I mean, look,
invest in.
what you just said right there is how you find really good gems. The information that you're getting from someone on the inside is way more valuable than what some analyst is going to be talking about the stock price. If they really believe in it and they're telling you that, I'm not saying it's going to be a home run, but weigh that information, because they're the ones actually using it, right? If they're saying it's a superior product.
Yeah, the other one is Intuitive Surgical. That's what I was checking out. And they're 115 billion market cap, but their current P ratio is pretty. I mean, their stock is up a lot this year. It's these companies are super hot right now. I think you're in the right field. It's just maybe that's not the right time if they're pumping.
Well, between Medtronics and Stryker, I do know from the little research I've done that Medtronics is more undervalued, but I'd probably lean towards that one for now. Yeah, Stryker is a little bit more overvalued.
What's the ticker? MDT? Is it MDT?
I believe so, yeah.
Medtronic, 118 billion, similar to the other one, but their P is more reasonable.
Yeah.
They have not pumped as much as the surgical, the other one, Intuitive Surgical. Yeah. I guess the Intuitive Surgical is like the hot new thing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the forward P is 17 of Medtronic. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's the one I'm favoring. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
I do got to look further into it. I am really interested in this.
Yeah.
Chris is jumping in. He's saying we'll talk about it the next time I'm on. Chris is actually the guy.
Yeah, I know healthcare. Yeah,
Chris is the guy to talk to about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Zoko, what's your actual name, if you don't mind disclosing?
Oh, so I'm Nigerian American. My long name is Chiza, but I just go by Zo because it's easier for people to
Is Chiza spelled CHISA?
No, CHIZOH. It means God.
Because I know another guy named Chiza. Okay.
Yeah.
And you work in the healthcare space. Is that why you're asking?
I do. I'm a nurse. Yeah, I'm actually a nurse.
Intuitive Surgical, Chris says, makes Da Vinci. That's a popular system, and he says they're both doing amazing VR surgery. So yeah, honestly, this is a super great growth sector. Like, can you imagine these companies are just going to get bigger and bigger?
Well, when we talked about, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, the last podcast, like what's the next big industry? This is where it's going. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah,
this biomed and this kind of thing. It's not really fully advanced yet, and I don't know what
infancy stage.
I don't know what the time horizon is to see the returns. But if you can set it and forget it, buy a good steak at a good price now, and then just leave it for a while. If you have runway and you're like, I can leave it for 10 years, I think you'll be rewarded.
Well, I think both these companies, if I'm not mistaken, are already profitable. These are not like startups.
Sure.
These are profitable companies that are making bank. So. Yeah, I don't see any problem investing in both, honestly. Obviously, one is more expensive.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you know Kelly from the chat? Do you see her all the time in the chat?
I just follow her on Twitter and mess with her in chat. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar. Yeah.
How long have you been watching the Finance Junkies? I think for a couple months now, right?
It's been. I mean, I started when you guys started. I started watching you guys because I was on your channel, and then you started the Finance Junkies. Yeah. So I've been with you for less than 4K subs.
So as a last question,
what's his best show? That's my question to you.
I like all the shows, man.
It's the Morning Open.
I tune into all the shows. I tune into all the shows.
You had an opportunity there and you missed it.
I promise you guys, I'm always there. Always listening in the background.
The question Amit really wants to ask, he's leading towards it. It's like, say something nice about me. He's like,
I started that way.
He knew. No, Zoko, I'm so happy you came on because I've seen you so many times in the chat, so I'm happy you're here. My question for you before you go is, as a nurse, are other nurses interested in finance and investing, or do you kind of feel like you're on an island and you don't get to talk about it with other people at work?
For the most part, I feel like I'm on the island. I feel like I'm the leader trying to tell them to invest, but they're just so, gung-ho with their job situations and, their income that they're making. At least in the Bay Area, California, they're satisfied with that. They're satiated with that. So they're not big on investing. I try to push people, but there's only so much you could do,
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can't save everybody.
Exactly.
Nurses are a prime target for financial advisors because they make a lot of money and they don't care about the finances as much. So they're a prime target for us.
I do. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chiza. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. It means the world to me, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. See you guys.
Coming on, Zo.
Later.
All right, we got another one. Nikhil, thank you for coming on.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're good. Where are you calling from, and how long have you been watching the pod?
I've been watching the podcast since maybe like 6 months. And
Okay.
I've been
Did
watching
we
this
just
over a
wake you
year.
up?
No.
What's up, man?
What's your
Yeah, I
question?
was
Go ahead.
listening to the conversation between you and Chris yesterday about the energy, about the oil being priced out slowly. I was wondering, how do you see a play of hydrogen? Because I've not seen a lot of discussion happening in US on hydrogen sector. But if you look contrarily to India, they have been doing a lot of stuff on hydrogen, and they want to move towards the green energy, or the green hydrogen, as they call it. Uh, how do you see that play coming up in US?
Who has thoughts on hydrogen?
I mean, we talk about it all the time on the Discord too. That look, hydrogen is going to have a place, and I think they're doing bigger vehicles or airplanes. I think they're doing something with that. But in terms of EVs, trucks, it's not going to be hydrogen. In fact, it makes no sense when you can locally generate power as opposed to transporting it across the country and getting it from underground and doing, or even creating it. By the way, even creating it clean hydrogen, like you're saying, it just doesn't make sense. And in fact, everybody who's tried it, Toyota's like the biggest proponent of this. It's failing miserably. It's failing miserably. Okay. And it took a startup, Elon, to actually just put some superchargers to show you how stupid it was. So
I think
it's not going to happen the same.
potential.
It's not going to happen this way in terms of like this big push for vehicles. I don't think so.
I think not from the auto industry. I'm just thinking from the heavy industry perspective, like airplanes, tractors, heavy machinery, because that's where you see the actual value of oil being phased out and hydrogen being replaced in, versus the EV, which is sort of the auto industry, which is not going to be replaced. That's true.
I could agree with that. So bigger equipment, I could agree with that.
Carlos, any thoughts on hydrogen?
Okay, it's the most abundant element, right? It's the first element of the periodic table. So it's a lot easier to get than, say, fossil fuels, and from what I understand, easier to refine. The problem is that it is incredibly flammable. So you have
it's difficult to extract as well. Yeah,
you have bigger issues with that. But to your point, yeah, in heavy machinery or like something like an airplane, it might make sense. I just think that part of what EVs are trying to displace is not just the powertrain or the fuel. It's also the inefficiencies of moving the energy around and having it be sourced locally to where it's needed. That's a big part of it, right? And hydrogen doesn't solve that. You still need some machine to move the hydrogen from where it is to where it needs to be, right?
True.
So there is clean hydrogen, and I don't know. I think Matt Money was bringing up gray hydrogen. There's also a clean version. I forgot what it's called, but you can create it from water. So if you can do that on the cheap with solar power. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it literally makes no sense what's going on.
It takes a lot of energy, and the other benefit of it, if we could switch it tomorrow, right, and say the energy density was exactly the same, then at least the only exhaust of those vehicles is water vapor. You know.
Yeah.
But I do wonder. I have wondered this. What if you did switch the entire planet over to that, and everyone's dumping all this water vapor into the atmosphere? What would be the overall long-term effects of that? Would it just be, would we heat the planet anyway just from that, like the way
it's not the same. It's not the same as like actual greenhouse gases, like
it doesn't trap it, but you know what I'm saying, like you can't put something into the atmosphere in huge amounts. And
I'd rather put in the water than the particulate.
Me too. Okay. me too But I mean, I don't think the whole planet wants to live in Ireland. You know what I mean? You ever live in Ireland?
Do you think all the oil companies that we have today move towards the hydrogen as the alternate fuel, and they can supply it again to these large industries? To transition, like Exxon or maybe Chevron, start moving.
I'm sure they're already doing that. That's got to be they're supplying.
That's in their best interest, because that's what their business is. Their business is part of it, and part of the price is moving all of these materials around, right? Sourcing it, because
moving energy around. Their thing is moving energy around,
because they're the only company that can have the machinery to get the stuff, right? If you could go get it yourself, like from a solar panel, then there's nobody to charge. There's no middleman. There's no toll collector. So yeah, they want to be able to continue that same business. All they would be doing is getting a different material and moving it somewhere else.
Nikhil, did you ask this question because you have a personal motivation behind it? Are you investing in any of these?
I work in the hydrogen industry.
Right. He's like, I'm a hydrogen startup. Like, invest in my company.
And by the way, Elon had a whole thing. Hydrogen is part of the future. I could believe him. It's part of large machinery, airplanes, or whatever it's going to happen. That's going to happen. Just like oil is not going away. It's part of some. So, but 80% of it is gone. Okay. It's just gone.
Got it. No, I work in IT, and my motivation for asking this question, because yesterday we had like a large debate with Amit trying to say that, okay, it's not going to take over. EV is not going to take over. There are some alternatives.
It was trolling.
No, I wasn't trolling. I believe in that. 80% oil gone in
you
50
are
years. Fucking
absolutely
crazy.
trolling.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're absolutely
Amit's
trolling.
26. You actually think?
First of all, I'm 25. All right. Thank you, Nikhil. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining. Catch you later. All right. We've got another one. We got more people. Oh, I got rid of Carlos.
I
If
like
the next
this.
question is not a tech question, I'm going to freak
If it's
out.
not about SoFi, he's gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Mr. Kevin Smith, what's up?
Go crazy. So
what's up, Kevin?
Kevin, I'm finally meeting Kevin Smith. It's amazing.
yeah. So
Big
not the
fan,
actor,
dude. Big
Not
fan.
the actor, but definitely the infamous Kevin Smith that you guys have been talking to for a while.
I love the beard, man.
Yeah,
It'd be amazing if you turned out to be the actual director, actor Kevin Smith. That would be
maybe one
We're
day.
not worthy.
Hey, maybe one day, right?
Yeah.
So look, since Chris kind of a while back mentioned commercial real estate and kind of taking a look around, just looking for some different opportunities, I ran across Howard's properties out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And I mentioned this in the chat about a month ago and started looking into it. And now, ever since then, it's up like 15. A lot of these companies in the commercial real estate, I know that Chris mentioned it, just got beat down so bad from people going to, I guess, work from home. And now people are calling back to the office. So I just wanted you guys to kind of take a look into Howard's properties and maybe search around for some of these beat down stocks that we can get into.
What's the ticker symbol?
Money. Howard's is the properties. Let me see what I can't remember what the ticker symbol is, but if you just search Howard's properties.
Okay.
It
It would
I
be down pretty
know
bad.
nothing about it in terms of that.
It's just a local company. It's not like a big, but I think
What are the properties that they buy?
so they do a lot of commercial real estate as far as I do a lot of the audiovisual in their buildings, and they just rent out to different places. I'm not quite sure the type of
You're
business
saying
that
a
they
venue?
rent
You're
out.
saying a venue spaces, like venue spaces?
No, not really. But they do have some venue spaces in Raleigh, but mostly it's like commercial skyscrapers. So if you go to Raleigh, pretty much, I guess 50% of the skyscrapers in Raleigh belong to Howard. So they just basically rent out office space and different floors to different businesses and things like that. And a few years back, Raleigh was the fastest growing city in the world. It was definitely banging. It's kind of went down a little bit now, but I feel the growth coming back as people are calling us for audiovisual work. It's coming back. So again, it's not so much that. I mean, that one looks great to me. If you guys want to take a look into
Well, I'm
it,
looking at it right now. Dividend is 8.74%.
Yeah, almost 9%. So great on that, right?
2.52 billion. But in terms of just looking at their chart over the last decade, they are literally at the lows of the entire decade. Basically,
Yep.
Might be good. It might be an opportunity.
That's the COVID thing,
something
right?
to
That's
look
what
into.
I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Something that's beat down, right? And that might be coming back into it so we can make some money.
But just to point out, the max it's ever been in like 10 years is like $50. So it's if anything, it's a double. So I don't know. Once again, do you want to risk your investment on maybe a double, basically?
So this could be due to other factors, but from what I'm seeing, they have $15 million worth of cash, $3 billion worth of debt as a $2 billion company. Although they almost have a 9% dividend, they have a 131% payout ratio.
Ooh,
which means
that's
for
a
every
killer.
dollar, for
Oh.
every for
That's it,
every
it's over.
dollar that they make, they pay out $1.30 to their dividend to their shareholders.
Never
that could be
invest
for
in
other
companies like that.
circumstances. No, there could be a way that it's coming out of other factors. So it's not 100% of a kill. Like if you look at Enbridge, their payout ratio is like 300%. It's not actually, it's calculated a little bit differently whenever looking at a company like that. But that being said, if it is that way, it's a very scary sign. And now, this is not an opinion that you should take very heavily. Take it with a grain of salt because I don't cover this industry. But stocks that are down for a decade, like decade-long lows, is a big red sign for me. It sounds like an opportunity, but most times, that's usually
a value
just
trap.
Yeah,
A value trap.
Value trap, right?
It's Cisco.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm looking at that one too. I'm just looking for anything like something that's beat.
Have you
down
heard of a
that
little
kind
company called Enphase?
Kevin, what are your top 3 positions? What are your top 3 positions?
Palantir. Right now, I'm in Upstart, and I've made a killing off of Upstart recently.
All right, I'm happy for you. That's good.
Good. Did you sell? Did you sell?
No, I have not sold yet, man. I've got a lot of options, and I've got a bunch of shares. I did sell some covered calls at 25 and 30 strike, and right now I'm kind of pissed about that because I'm going to lose some money. You know what I mean? On being at $38. So I'm thinking about actually rolling those positions to.
That's
to
the
not
trap,
get
buddy.
much.
That's the trap.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah,
scared. Don't get me wrong. I'm scared, man. But then
Okay,
again,
Upstart, Palantir, what else?
let's see. What else do I have? I've got some Zoom. I had a bunch of positions, but I kind of consolidated out as Palantir and Upstart started going up. I started buying. So,
what's the pitch on Zoom for you? Why do you like Zoom?
The reason I like Zoom is because I'm in the audiovisual world, and everyone I saw, my wife works in the healthcare system, but she's actually in the audiovisual part of VCU. They're buying up huge Zoom contracts. Like Zoom is charging heavily amounts of money, and anywhere you go, if somebody wants to do a teleconference call, they say, "Hey, let's jump on a Zoom," right? So I just felt like as it was coming in that it was going to be a huge thing, and I did pretty well on it so far. Now I'm starting to wonder really what their mode is and how far it will go. Like, how are they going to expand past what they are right now, right? But at the end of the day, you never know, man. These companies have the money and the capital to invest in different things, so who knows where it'll go, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Kathy obviously thinks it's a.
I was gonna say, I was
waiting for the.
Yeah, she's still buying. I can't believe it, to be honest with you, because I'm not buying right now, but I was buying. You know what I mean? Now it's been up a little bit over the past this little bull run we're getting right here, whatever we're gonna call it. But I'm kind of holding on tight right now. I don't know what's gonna happen. Are we gonna get that red pull? Are we gonna just keep going? I just don't know right now.
I'm gonna ask some of my buddies, but when the pandemic happened and there were some companies that I had to work in the office, right? But we still had to be quarantined. We still needed to collaborate. And so I think it was Zoom actually. Zoom actually makes a product like what Cisco does. It's like a little phone that will connect to a computer, and you can basically use it like to do a video call, but it does all of the background work for you. So you get the list. Yeah, it was Zoom. You have like a little touch screen on it, and you scroll through the person you want to talk to, and as soon as you hit the button, the screen pops up and it shares the feed from the computer. You can hear each other, you can collaborate, and it was just this little box. And I know that a lot of the companies bought hundreds of these, maybe thousands of these.
It was actually, so it's a licensing thing. So Crestron is one of the leading audiovisual companies, and no, they're private. You can't buy their stock, but they sell lots of AV, and what they do is they sell these licenses for Zoom or Teams. That's the two big main players. And you get the touch screen, you get the USB mic, you get the USB camera, and then you basically can just join a call right from it.
And it'll stream share. It'll stream your the video and audio from a computer real time. You can collaborate.
Yeah.
So so that device, you're saying that device wasn't made by Zoom because it had Zoom
exactly.
branding.
They license it, right? So basically, they sell a license to the big audiovisual companies like Polycom. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. There's some other Logitech has some devices that do these licenses for Zoom rooms, is what we call them. And as I started seeing them pop up, because we were doing a lot of Cisco stuff, I said Zoom's going to be big, and so I bought some shares, and I've done well on that one. Right now, I'm a little worried. Again, how much farther are they going to grow? Because they just during the pandemic, they just got so big, and I don't know that we'll ever see that again. But I'm just holding.
Kathy's right. You will.
Probably
We
not.
just got to see if Kathy's right.
She's right.
I think
she's right.
I think I think your strategy. I didn't catch the name of the other company that you were talking about. Just continuing to sell options against it. I mean, I had one of my friends who you met.
TJ the Wheel Deal. There you go.
TJ the Wheel Deal. No, well, Phil, who you met a couple times, he was still selling calls and puts on Halliburton. He bought it in like 2000. He just kept putting it closer and closer.
Like, how do I get rid of this shit?
Trying to get rid of it. But I mean, considering he was holding it for 10 years, even if there's been no appreciation, you've got to be making the kind of return.
Oh no. The best thing for someone doing the wheel, by the way, is selling calls and puts, and it never goes anywhere.
It never goes
That's
anywhere.
The best thing that you can. So AT&T might be a great thing too.
I had some AT&T. Qualcomm's another one I hold. I had a little bit of the standing in front of the camera, couldn't think of everything I had, so I looked back. So Qualcomm's another one.
I still like Qualcomm.
Yep, it's got a nice dividend, and right now they're down, so I think it's a good opportunity to buy.
Yeah. I actually like that one, and they are growing in terms of all the chips in cars, all the VR devices. They're all using their chips.
Then you saw that lawsuit they won, right? Where they get like, what is it, $100 per Apple device sold for the lifetime of Apple. So basically, any phone that Apple sells for the rest of the time that Apple's in business, they have to pay Qualcomm a It's like a
I
royalty.
thought that was going away. I thought eventually that was going away.
It was lifetime, is what I saw. Now I might be wrong, Vitaly, but when I saw that, I was like, okay. I mean, because Apple's never going away on that part. So
Yep, that's
All
interesting.
right, Kevin. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining. It was
Good to
nice
meet you,
to
Kevin.
face to you. Appreciate it.
You guys.
Cool.
All right, we got one more left to end out the fan questions.
And then I have a question for you guys.
Okay, Douglas, what's up?
Sure.
Hey guys.
Is this Doug?
Can you block Chris? Do we need snide remarks in the comments?
Oh, is this
Snyder
Doug?
Marks is where it's at.
This is the
Chris,
Doug
Chris
on
in the
Twitter.
comments.
The
Yes,
guy.
this is the Doug on Twitter.
Wait, this is Doug Crawford?
No, we had Doug in our Meta Apple.
The Meta
it's for your
Apple
Patreon.
debate,
It's for
yeah.
Patreon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Patreon
thought this
thing,
was
yeah.
Doug B.
There's more than one.
Apparently,
Doug.
there's more
Okay, go
Dougs
ahead.
than I'm used to.
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned something in the freelance finance Patreon side, and Carlos asked me to ask about it during the Finance Junkie show, which was, hey, look, I bought a truck last week after looking at Teslas for a couple of weeks and decided it was a big time no. They have so much room between the Model Y and the Model X. The comfort of the Model Y is nowhere near like the mid range, right? I mean, the Model Y feels like a Model 3. It feels like a Nissan Sentra. They really need to park something somewhere in between the X, which has the electric suspension, adjustable suspension,
Yeah.
and the wider cabin. So I just wanted to put that out there and see what you guys thought. I mean, I'm a Tesla bull as well. It's my largest position.
What truck did you buy? What type of truck did you buy?
I bought a used F-150. I'll probably just hold on to it for a couple more
And so
years.
is the implication of your argument that the Cybertruck's just not going to win in comparison? To
I got a picture to share.
I'm only doing it for like 2 years, and I'll give Tesla 2 more years and see if they can come up with a product that I find.
And if they
more
don't, what
affordable.
happens? You sell the stock if they don't?
Probably not. No, I think it's.
He's like, I'm no dummy.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on a minute.
but what I'm driving for what I'm buying for my family is Tesla just doesn't have a product right now that fits the comfort level and the level of luxury that I can get in an ICE vehicle. Tesla is just not there from a comfort standpoint, and I'm not as small as you guys are. So
well, I know I could see that because I see all these Suburbans driving around. I'm like, someone needs to just electrify that thing, and it would be. Can you? They would sell so many of those.
The Lightning was awesome, but it's $90,000, so yeah. I couldn't justify buying an electric vehicle and not getting that $7,500.
What about Rivian? Did you try that?
No, those are all six-figure vehicles.
No, you don't see my cursor. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Too expensive for those. I agree.
Because I have a theory. Look, the Cybertruck is meant to hit that market, Vitaly. It's meant to hit those guys that want, the F-150s, that like utilitarian work truck. But even if you just look at the one that's 300 million, the one that's above it, a lot of people are saying that that's a van, right? They're saying that's going to just be like a van, like you would see, like a Sprinter. But I actually think it's going to be more like, and I can just hold on.
A Suburban?
I can stop sharing. No, my guess is that platform is actually going to be 2 vehicles. So if you look at the way that Rivian has their pickup truck, and then they have the SUV version of it just by sort of enclosing the cabin. That's
You guys can hear that.
that sounds like the new cowbell. What I actually think, the vehicle that I think you're looking for is yet to be announced, and I think it's going to be built off of the Cybertruck platform. I think what they're going to do is, this is my thinking, right? They'll have that Cybertruck platform with the folded steel, and then they'll make an SUV version of it, smaller. And that's going to be the
perfect
version.
rectangle.
It's literally a block. It'll look like
it's going to be an Apple.
Be like one Lego brick that you stuck some wheels on,
with a window in the
instead of
front.
a G-Wagon, it'll be like the T-Wagon or something, right? Yeah. But that's what I think that's going to be. So that vehicle that I think you're talking about, that will be in the middle of it, will be that. And
but he needs a vehicle now. He can't wait for that magical cube.
So hey, look, I just put this truck on my credit card, by the way.
Oh, Amazon. That's where you should put these purchases on. Yeah. Good.
Well, no, it's
paying for twice. Why not?
I'm paying for it in cash, but I put it on a card so I can get 35,000 Amazon points.
That's smart.
Yes. Right. The other thing is, though, there's a growing number of people that believe that eventually
Amazon's like, what? We don't sell.
there's a growing number of people that believe the S and the X will be discontinued soon because they're just low volume vehicles, and most of what those vehicles were used for was for newer technology. If that happens, you will probably see, say, a plaid version of the Y or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they
higher
need.
performance
They
model.
need something in the 70s. Just hit
70,000?
right below. Yeah, hit something right below that 80,000 threshold.
Right, but they're driving the prices down. I mean, they're driving the prices down anyway. That vehicle you're talking about will probably be the $50,000 vehicle.
Yeah, the Model Y is 50.
But I'm saying, once they get the prices down, that vehicle, by the time they're ready to produce that vehicle will be the $50,000 vehicle. And
So
look,
we think that's where they're going to be in 2 years, because the F-150 Lightning is still $100,000.
Right. And that's
an
not coming
ICE,
down.
An ICE F-150 is $90,000.
Yeah, no, Cybertruck's going to be. Look, I have a pre-order, but it's probably going to be $100,000 too. I bet you anything.
It's going to be 3
I don't know.
years late.
There was someone who did a calculation for it. I think we're a little late in the podcast, but there's someone that actually tried to do a calculation of what they think it's going to cost, right? I'm not going to speculate on the price. I'm thinking more like 75, 80. That's where it's going to land.
Well, see, the first one's going to be the quad motor, and it's going to be whatever they're going to.
I don't think so. Me personally, I don't think they're going to come out with a quad. They'll do the quad motor.
No, they said they're making a quad motor.
Yes, but I don't. Well, they haven't officially announced it, but you see the videos of it. You see the 4-wheel steering. So it will be the first model that comes out because that's the higher margin vehicle, and obviously that's the one that you want out there on behalf of the.
I know, but that just means longer for regular people to get it. Like I won't be getting it for a long
we're not
time.
discussing that. We're discussing the price. I don't think it's going to be.
Do you guys honestly think that'll be a good selling vehicle?
Oh yeah.
Well, the Cybertruck?
Busters, yeah.
They'll sell every one that they make.
You got to think of it this way. It's going to be original to most trucks. So every person is going to put them in their movies. They're going to be then kids growing up will be like, wow, that looks fucking cool, right? So I'm telling you, it's going to be very popular just because it's going to look like a cool truck.
And
I liked it when I first saw it, and the more I see it, I'm like, you know what? It might be a little too niche, and they might have to just launch like a second truck that looks more like.
Listen, go somewhere.
I wouldn't mind a second truck too, like an option for the regular.
Go somewhere. I've seen it in person twice. Go somewhere and see it in person. It's not the same vehicle that you think you're looking at. It's just not the same. So until you look at it, you can't make that assessment, right? Because to me, like the old school trucks, just they look all the same. Looks like every other vehicle on the road. Rivian with like their headlights, and even from every angle, they worked on that truck to make it look distinct and unique. You can tell a Rivian from pretty far away, even from the back, which you would say that's the hardest part to make it look unique. They found a way of making it look unique, and that's important to some people, and it's a turn off to others, right? But
I think the one bear. Go ahead, Tanner. Go ahead.
No, I just think there will be a class of ultra, SoFi share or
he can't.
Tesla
he does a SoFi stream every day.
Dude, he's a perfect Chris.
There will be
truest.
There will be a ton of Tesla shareholders. Tesla shareholders that will buy it. But truthfully, I don't think it's going to catch on to the average person that isn't, a shareholder.
No, but Tanner, you do agree they're going to sell like hotcakes. I mean, I agree.
I think to start, but the way I used to think about it is like, imagine if you were Ford, GM, all of these CEOs and C-suite executives, whenever it was announced. I watched that announcement live, and they were hyping this up. Kimball was coming out and just like hyping it up, and everyone was going crazy. And then as that thing rolled onto stage, everyone kind of went, oh.
I did too, dude. It took a minute to realize the genius.
When I first saw it, I thought it's just absolute badass. You have to understand something too. There has not been anything in the Tesla lineup to fill that niche. Like I have a Model Y and I have a Model X, and I agree with you on the ride height, on the comfort level. But a large part of the comfort level in the Model Y, why it's not as comfortable, is the suspension. It's just super tight.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really
driving
tight.
Driving around the roads in downtown Houston is not a place you want to.
It's really tight. It's really tight suspension. But the other, I don't know which model you were looking at, but if you have a chance, you should test drive the Model Y Performance. It feels really different. And in track mode, it felt completely different than my wife's Model Y long range. Now the X feels good too. But I've also like ridden in an S, and an S handles a bit better. But the height of the X off the ground does make it feel a little bit more like
it absolutely does.
wishy-washy.
That was
right?
the first thing we did. We drove the Y first, and then they gave us an X to drive. And the first thing we did was raise that suspension all the way up, and it was a much nicer ride.
There is, but it won't let you stay at that height. You can only stay. It won't let you stay at that height for fuel economy. So if you put it to very high, it'll only let you stay at that height till 35 miles an hour. No, till 15 miles an hour. And then from very high, if you go to high, it'll only stay at that height until 35 miles an hour. So everything over 35, 40 miles an hour, it goes back to the low setting. And then there's very low when you want to race. And that's just for fuel economy, because the more air you have funneling underneath the car, the less efficient.
The less efficient. Right. Okay.
So,
Doug, can I ask you one question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Given you're part of the Freelance Finance Patreon Discord community, I might know the answer to this, but do you own any Palantir at all?
Of course.
Oh, you do? I thought these guys would have.
No.
Hey, by the way, today I created an AI section for Palantir. Well, for other, but I made it much more prominent, so it's easier to find. Okay.
No, Palantir is my largest position.
It's spelled T-R-A-S-H.
Really?
Yes.
I think you said Tesla was the largest. Interesting.
Tesla's the second largest. But yeah.
I love it. That's good. And any SoFi or no?
Yep. SoFi sold all my calls last week, converted into shares.
You sold what you sold your SoFi calls?
Yep.
What did you buy them at? What was the stock price when you bought them?
Oh, it was like 505.
Yo, bro,
that's how awesome.
How does it keep falling, bro? I don't understand.
It was like 505 when I.
Yo, that's Carp telling you something.
But why? Like I have a bunch of I bought a bunch of calls at the same price, and they're only up they're up like 90 something percent. But do you feel like it's still not going to run?
Well, when I feel like I got 100% out of something in 3 weeks,
it's not bad.
Just convert it to shares.
Oh,
now I can sleep at night.
How long was the contract for?
It was a full leap.
So we about 2 years.
Yeah, it was January.
In 3 weeks. But that premium you paid, that premium that you paid for the.
No, my profit was already 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying is, if you would have bought a 1 month or 2 month, right, you would have had way more profit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but he can't anticipate.
Yeah,
you got happen.
Yeah,
that's why I bought it. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I don't buy short-term calls, bro.
Neither do I, but I also
I think we're gonna have a really tough couple of months now until August.
I agree, but if you had leads,
gone away. Yeah, so I'm not about to do 2 months though. That was my.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Fair
but yeah, I got 100% return on my money in like 3 weeks. Let me just buy shares and I can sleep at night, and then I don't have to worry about Enovix creeping over $15 the last hour of the day on Friday and getting all my shares called away from me.
I was happy to see that. Anyone in the chat have those Enovix calls, they are printing.
Well,
I'm calling it Enovix. I'm not calling it Enovix.
Yeah,
I like calling it Enovix.
I had cover calls and they all got called away from me. So
yep. You got to be careful with stocks like that. They can run, but also a pullback is imminent. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd worry too much about it. Okay.
But the
pullback for that stock or
market
wide?
Pullback though.
No, I'm talking about Enovix. Remember, they made like $8. Okay, so like literally, they made $8,000, and I know they're producing batteries, and it's going 50% compounded every quarter. That's happening, but still, this is a TJ Rogers story, so people are overpaying for that story right now.
It takes a second, but when it runs, it
runs, and then when it tanks really hard.
Yeah, but if you just look at the track record of Enphase, once it passes, say, a certain price, once the price gets in triple digits, you're not going to see Enphase under $100 ever again.
Well, I'm not talking about Enphase. I'm talking about Enovix.
I know, but I'm saying we were talking about Enphase.
We're not there yet.
$5. Then it crossed $100, and it won't ever get back there again.
Yeah, I don't think Enovix is in the same position just yet. But don't get me wrong. I have my shares. I actually just have shares, no calls, just all shares in that company because it's just too volatile. Right. And I don't want to overpay for anything. I'm done.
We'll do the Enovix deep dive. I know a lot of people are asking. We'll do deep
dive.
And
Johnny was saying that that short report that came out today on it. I haven't checked it out yet, but they came out with a short report. So we should take a look at that, and maybe we talk about that Wednesday.
Oh, is that the guy who wrote the 30-page report on Twitter? Is that what the short report is?
Johnny.
No, I know, but there's a 30-page some guy on Twitter who was talking to Crossroads. Wrote a 30-page report.
Yeah.
Crossroads did a good summary of what the bear case could be for.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Well, we'll talk about that another time.
All right, Doug. Thanks so much.
Maybe we talk about that Wednesday
Thanks,
because do want to announce this. We're getting to the end of this thing. 555 people watching tomorrow. We have Warren Redlick, the Uber Tesla bull.
Yeah, can you explain who's the guest tomorrow, Carlos? Can you explain who this person is?
Pull him up on Twitter, Warren Reddick. Most of the people that are Tesla fans know this guy in the community. He's a former lawyer.
Yep.
We actually did an interview with him on the Freelancer Finance channel, and he's the guy that told us that we should have done a reaction video to the Everything Money guys, which ended up being one of our more successful videos. He is an incredibly opinionated guy, incredibly intelligent, like knowledgeable, but he's got some opinions that some people in the community don't agree with. He butts heads with people.
Correct.
In the community. He butts heads, and some people say that he's too bullish. He's almost like too bullish on it. So that's why I was saying we should get your boy Steve, who was looking to do a deep DD on Tesla. I actually tweeted at him to see if he could come on tomorrow, because I think that would be a great place to just have the conversation about that. And he's knowledgeable on SpaceX and Twitter. He actually drove down to SpaceX to see the launch. So I think he was there live when Starship launched. So he'll be a great guest. And if you know him, he doesn't pull any punches. He's perfect.
So can you ask him like hard questions tomorrow, not just fun Tesla questions?
He'll love hard questions.
Yeah,
because he'll be able to answer.
I've seen him on the Twitter Spaces.
Well, when you mean hard questions, what do you mean?
Like, I don't want to ask him like how great is Tesla going to be. I want to ask him like shit.
But I don't think I ever asked that.
I'm not saying you will. I'm just saying we should take advantage of someone who's that.
Oh, absolutely. No, I've got some questions. Look, I've been in this business for 20 something years, right? And a lot of what I did initially was interview based, and so I know like a good interview from a bad interview. And so I tried to ask those people questions tailored to them that they're not going to get asked anywhere else, that they maybe have never been asked before, but also allows us as a viewer to leverage their knowledge to get insight, right? That's what I'm.
And he doesn't care about the stock price. He actually cares about the company.
He cares deeply about the company, but he's also, a lot of people criticize him for being what they say is like, an Elon fanboy. So he's incredibly knowledgeable on SpaceX, Twitter, and he'll have a lot of opinions on what he thinks is going to happen.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, every Tesla content creator by default has to be an Elon fanboy, because that's how you make your content. I'm an Alex Karp fanboy. Tanner's an Anthony Noto fanboy. Like, it's just part of being a content creator. You can criticize them, obviously, but I think that's a stupid criticism. He's an Elon fanboy. It's like every fucking Tesla content creator is an Elon fanboy. Farzad's an Elon fanboy. He has to be.
Yeah, I'm much more of an Elon fanboy than I am a Noto fanboy for sure.
Well,
I agree, but like you're not going to shit on Noto. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, since it's an hour and 16 minutes, I got a question to put out to all you guys.
No,
I want each of you guys. Yeah, just a question, random question for each of you. I want you guys to each answer this question. Okay, so if you had to take two positions in your portfolio and switch them, so the amount of money you have in one, you have to switch it with the amount of money that you have in another. Which two? You don't have to give the numbers, but which two stocks would you switch?
I'd switch my Palantir and SoFi.
Would you have that much Palantir?
I'm just walking around.
Truth comes out first. The truth comes out
That's
first.
the truth. Oh, thank you. Super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks,
Rob Gilliam, $10. Thank you for all the
Thanks
tour
for
and
all
help.
your tour and guidance on my new journey into this investing thing. Thank you for
Rob, your profile picture looks like you have two little boys, so that's awesome. Love it. Thank you so much.
They're going to be very rich. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
even in the chat, what would you guys do? Because look, here's why I asked that question. Because you ever, you feel like you got to a company too late, so maybe you have a lot of money sitting in like a Palantir, and you go, man, if I had this money sitting in in Amazon or Google or even Tesla, I'd love to have this money in that.
I would take all my Palantir, I take every position I have, and I load up fucking Truist, baby. You know what I'm talking about? No, actually, if I could liquidate my entire portfolio and put it into the options I have on Truist, I might
retroactively, like you'd go back in time.
Let me understand this, because like, can't you do that right now? Can't I just sell my position?
No, because I got in thanks to Daddy Chris.
So you're saying at the price that we got in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right,
I got in really early, so if I did
of knowing then what you know now, and you say, if I didn't know then what I know now, all this money that I'm dumping into this, if I would put it into that.
Well, so I've purchased Nvidia very, very early. December of 2018, which was right after the Bitcoin crash. I've got it's like one of the best positions in my portfolio. But as it's run up, I've trimmed and trimmed and trimmed and trimmed and trimmed. So that would be my biggest mistake, probably, is that I wish I just never had sold out of Nvidia as much as I have. Right? It's still either second or.
What would you switch it with?
Well, that's not how I actually took the question. I thought the
That's
answer
how I asked
that
the
I
question.
originally had.
I'm not asking you.
Yeah,
like
I
your
mean,
biggest
okay.
regret.
So what would you rather have done? I wish I would have sold all of my portfolio and bought Bitcoin back in 2010. But no, I mean, in actual honesty, one of the largest positions that I have is Shopify. And honestly, what I think will be one of the largest positions in my portfolio, and I just keep getting more bullish and more bullish, is Nubank. I cannot get enough Nubank. This company is disgusting. I think they'll be one of the largest financial institutions in the entire world. I think we're looking at like an Alipay in China, and it's going to be for all of America, the North and South.
Interesting.
Ali?
Did not expect that.
So this is having a position in something that I bought early, but I should have put into something
It's
else?
a terrible question, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
just say what you like and what you.
I like your video. You know what? I bought FUV really early, so I should have traded that out.
Can we share that video? Can we share that video with your kid? Can we share that? That's the cutest video ever.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a great video. I love it.
So what you're saying is, if you'd have taken the ton of money you put in FUV
and like bought anything else,
swap
even
it
Palantir,
with another position that you got. Look, somebody answered. Who people are answering in the Johnny's saying I wouldn't have changed anything. Never go all in on options.
Yeah, that's Chris telling me don't go all in on.
Although Nvidia, I did the same thing, Tanner, which I kept buying Nvidia and kept selling and trimming and selling. And it's just like the stupidest thing you can do by selling Nvidia. It just it finds a way back home.
That's how I felt about it. That's how I felt about AMD. I made one of those like YOLO bets with AMD. You were there. It was when I was in Colombia. This is right before all of COVID. And I dumped, I think it was like 30 grand into it just to let it ride up for a little bit, made a little bit of profit. And then, and of course.
Right.
Do you guys think what AJ said here, Fed now makes this an ice cold take? Do you think that companies like, banks like SoFi or Nubank get affected negatively by Fed now?
Okay, I think it's time to go, guys.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
120. Honestly,
no. We got to this one video. We got to this one video.
No. I just want to answer AJ's question right there. Fed now is already in Brazil. It's called PIX, and it's only made news stronger. Anyway, that's my take. But go ahead.
And there was another one of these like little YouTube financial shorts that was not speaking to SoFi specifically.
Thanks, bootleg Chris.
It was talking about SoFi. I don't have it now, but I can tell you the gist of it. And this would be interesting to get your take, Tanner. One of the guys was saying that for 3 years they've had this like moratorium on student loans, right? So nobody's been paying their student loans for the last whatever number of years. And now that they finally said that it's going to happen, all those people that have been taking that money and using it in other places, whether it was stimulus or buying other stocks, now they have to pay their student loans. So his argument was that there's going to be a reduction in liquidity just in general in markets because now people have to start paying. That money has to come from somewhere. And I can't find the video, but I'm curious what your take on that is and if you think that that's going to be noticeable.
All right. Well, we Vitali's got to go. We got to end it. So
this is long, guys.
I'm sorry, Vitali's actually got to go. Vitali, I just want to share that. Can I show that one video of your kids?
$700 a month is not a little bit.
It's 2 minutes, I think. Sure.
How many people?
Student loans will be good for the economy. That's the answer. It'll be it'll be good for it'll be good for deflation.
So if anyone has kids,
it'll be good for SoFi.
All right, here we go. This was Vitali's kids when Vitali bought $5 million of FUV. The stock was dropping, and this was their reaction.
It's funny.
Okay, let's look at FUV. FUV is at 76 cents.
I don't care. Sell it. I swear to God.
What are you talking about?
Sell my money. Don't sell.
Sell your money? Your money's gone.
Sell my shares.
You paid too much.
This is so good.
You got like $20 left.
Okay, sell my money.
Sell your money?
Sell my shares.
We're going down with this shit.
I'm going to sell it right now, or I'll kill you.
You're going to kill me if I don't sell your shares?
Yes.
Why do you want to sell FUV?
I'm going to sell it.
Remember, when you're an investor, you're supposed to go down with the ship. Do you remember?
No, I'm not going down with it.
So you quitting too?
Sell my shares.
Well, but what if it's...
My shares. It's not going back up, bro. Sell my shares.
But what if the shares turn around? What if Arcimoto turns it around and then they sell 1,000 vehicles and then you could have had that stock and you got rid of it?
And then I still have mine. It's going to get bankrupt. It's at 7.
That's legit what I thought. I was like, he's got a great sense.
What is it? 76 cents.
Yeah.
Sell it.
You're bad investors. You should have bought Tesla.
Good investors.
It's gonna go bankrupt. What did I just say? Just do it.
Do what, man?
Stop. Sell it. Sell it.
Okay.
It lost like
So
sell it. Sell it. You pressed nothing.
He's so smart.
No. Sell my shares
dude,
right now.
the market is closed. I can't sell it right now. I know, but this is a good lesson to learn that sometimes the stocks don't go up.
Why can't we sell it? Why can't we sell it? Why can't we sell it?
Let me ask you a question though.
Thursday. Not Saturday or
If I have kids and my kids are like that, I'm gonna have a happy life. That's amazing, man. Good for you.
He was right. He called it.
Right before the reverse split. He's like, what if they reverse split?
Oh man. Okay.
I don't actually know the company that they were talking about, but it's
He should have
even
bought
if you get 10 cents, even if you can get 10 cents on the dollar, you got to get out emotionally and realize that, you know, sometimes the captain's got to get on the last lifeboat and just take their $20, like your kid said, just get out.
Basically, the one in the back, Nico, he was saying this. He's like, well, why sell it? I don't know if you heard it because everybody's laughing. He's like, it's 76 cents. And then the younger one says, it's going bankrupt. He's like, what? Sell it. He changed his mind real quick.
Yo, they're no different from the fucking guys on Wall Street. They act the same. Like, it's not like they're that different.
Sell it.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it, Tanner. Thank you again for filling in. We might need you again later in the week. I'll let you know. But yeah, appreciate it. Tanner's Twitter and YouTube is in the description. We'll have Warren Redlick on tomorrow. It'll be a fun Tesla episode, and we'll keep going from there.
I'll be watching that. That's awesome. Good for you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a good
Tanner.
night.
Bye.